Hi, it's Judith from JVArt Resources, and I'm bringing you a little video today on white colored pencils. There's many of them out there, and you've probably seen quite a few of them, but I'm going to do something a little bit different with this review. So stay tuned, and you're going to be quite surprised with the results. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to zoom in at the end, of course, and I might zoom in a little as we go after each section, so this way you can see. We're going to start with the two watercolor pencils. We have the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarella and the Faber-Castell. So we're just going to do a little swatch here. It's about a medium pressure. I'm going to go a little bit lighter. That's medium to light. And you can see that's it has very nice coverage. Let's just go over it a little bit more, pressing a little bit harder. Okay, that's pressing hard and going back and forth. Now we're going to do the Museum Aquarella. See, and that is a very light touch. And look how dark it is already. Now pressing hard. And we'll go back. It feels very soft and creamy. And it's very dark. Let me zoom in now for you to see that. Yep, that's the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarella. It's a very bright white. It covers beautifully. That's a great pencil. Now, next, zoom out again. Okay, we're going to work on the 4 different Derwent pencils. This is very good. We'll be able to compare them all together and see how they look. We're going to start off with the Derwent drawing pencil. This is Chinese white, number 7200. Very popular colored pencil. Not pressing too hard. I could go lighter. Let's see if I can get a little lighter coverage. It's very hard to get very light coverage, at least for me. Remember, I was telling you how difficult it is for me to have a very light touch. So now, pressing harder. Pencil feels nice and sturdy. Oh, as I said that, it broke. I guess I could put that on my blooper reel. Go away. And we'll just go back again. Okay, that's Derwent Chinese white, also nice and bright. Now, Color Soft, regular white, also by Derwent. Pressing medium. I'm not as concerned about the very light coverage because with the right amount of touch, anybody can get it like that. I want to prove the brightest white, the best white, the most coverage. That's what this test is all about. Okay, also very nice coverage. So far, Derwent has some beautiful pencils. This is the Pro Color, the fairly new pencil that came out, I think about a year or two ago. I think it was 2 years ago. Now pressing a little harder. And we'll go back. Okay, very nice, but it didn't cover in the same, it's not as bright as the Color Soft or the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarella. So finally, here is the Derwent Light Fast. This is the new one. I love these pencils, and I can't wait for the rest of the set to come out. I believe they're having another set come out for a total of 72. So going back and forth, trying to get nice coverage. Let's zoom in. You can see on this we have the Derwent drawing, the Color Soft, the Pro Color, and the Light Fast. I believe in those four, the Light Fast is the brightest white with the best coverage, but in comparison to the two watercolors, overall the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarella had the best coverage, and it's really the brightest. So let's continue and see if we can't take that one down by having something else come on a little bit brighter. So now Caran d'Ache, the Luminance, and the Pablo, these are two of my most favorite pencils to use. It's like medium pressure on the Luminance. Now I did use my Derwent Super Point sharpener, so as you can see, these points are crazy long. Sometimes it doesn't take much to get them to snap. Now let's go press a lot harder. I'm quite surprised how hard I am pressing, and it's not even considering breaking. Unless, of course, it does, and it'll go on my blooper reel. But you can see that's a few layers, and it's really nice and bright, and the pencil held up wonderfully. So now we're going to use the Pablo. As I had said earlier, it's a thinner pencil, it's a thinner lead, it's a hard lead, so it's perfect for little details. I love using this for details. And that's not just the white. I mean, that's the entire set of Pablo pencils are wonderful for details. And you can use them, you know, just for straight drawing as well. It doesn't have to be just for detail. But it's nice to know that you can use it for details. And just like its cousin pencil, the Luminance, it also is very hard. This is a long, skinny point. I'm pressing really hard now. And it just does not want to break. Whoop! Yes, always about the timing, isn't it? It's always about the timing. But you could see how hard I was pressing. And that's another pencil with beautiful coverage. I'll zoom in, show you that quickly. You can see it's a little bit more coverage almost than the Luminance, and I think that's because it's such a thin point and it's hard and it really digs into the paper. But overall, we have lots of really nice white. When you press hard, the hard end is really bright and nice. On the lighter medium end, you can see right off the bat the ones that stick out. So now let's move on. Let's get that camera angle right. Okay, and now we're going to go with the Polychromos and the Prismacolor. Two other very popular pencils. Polychromos, great quality pencil, always dependable, great light fastness, just an overall great pencil. Medium pressure, and the coverage, of course, is very nice. Now we'll start to apply a little more pressure. And we'll go back again. The heavy pressure seems to really be covering up all the little pits in the paper. I'd say that's about all that it has. And that's very nice too. And then here is the Prismacolor. We'll have to do this down here. I'm definitely pressing fairly hard here, but I'm trying not to get that point to break. And that's it. It's just not taking any more color. And you can feel that with the wax pencil sometimes. It feels slippery. And finally, we have the Prismacolor Very Thin. And this is always for detail, but let's just see what it does. It's a much harder lead. This is definitely more for drawing like thin lines. You can do that with any of those pencils, but the Very Thin makes a really nice skinny line, as well as the Pablo. In fact, I'm going to show you the Pablo as well doing that. It's a lot harder to color in like a block color with this thin pencil because it's hard and there's just not enough surface there. But it's scratchy looking too. So I wouldn't recommend using the Very Thin for coloring in or shading. Not that you couldn't. If you needed a color and you had it only in Very Thin, you know, you could make that work. But it's really best for the lines. Now we're going to show the Pablo, since that's one of my favorite hard surfaces pencil for making lines. As you can see, it's similar to the Prismacolor. And now finally, the very last pencil I have to put to the test is this Stabilo All pencil. This is called Stabilo All 8052. It's a watercolor pencil. It's for paper, glass, plastic, and metal. But it's been a real lifesaver in some cases for using the black. For the black, I'd say it's for when you want the blackest coal black. Sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes you want to have black that has other colors in it. Some indigo blue or some scarlet reds. Layering those in between a black Polychromos gives you such beautiful, rich depth of color. But sometimes you just want a jet black background. And when you do, the Stabilo black is perfect. And now here is the white. As you can tell right away, it's a lot more coverage. It looks brighter and whiter already, and it's even wearing down the tip of the pencil. So now we're going to apply more pressure, and look how fast that has coverage. Just like the Stabilo black pencil, it covers in one layer. Now you could see here I did light and then heavy, and it's basically maxed out. And if we go right to heavy, that's it. Stabilo pencils tend to make more crumbs. You need to be careful. You always need to have a brush nearby, or I like to use the air can. This way you don't drag those crumbs across your paper. Okay, so that's it. You've got to see all the choices of the wonderful white pencils that are out there. We did cut off a little bit quick on that Stabilo white, but just to tell you, it's a great pencil to have in your arsenal. It covers over a lot of different things, a lot of other brands it goes with. If you're at that point in your drawing and you just wish you were able to find a white that just would go over a little bit darker or just cover things a little bit better, this is the job. This is the pencil for the job, just like the Stabilo black. Check that out too. I'll do another video on the black pencils, and I'll bring up to date on that. But Stabilo white, great tool to have. So thanks again for watching. Make time to create every day, and I'll see you guys next time.